On October 27, 2017, federal and provincial environment ministers came together with Okanagan Nation Alliance chiefs to announce a renewed effort to establish a national park reserve in the South Okanagan-Similkameen. Here are excerpts from that announcement in Osoyoos.
I think what you're seeing is that you have, for the first time, the federal government working with the provincial governments, working with directly with the community, with Chief Clarence and the other communities to work towards establishing a park here in South Okanagan. This is really important. There have been fits and starts, some of them good, some of them not so good, but for the first time you're seeing a political will to work together and to find solutions. This is part of reconciliation. We have a lot of talk about nation-to-nation relationships, talking about the UN Declaration on Rights of Indigenous Peoples, the Truth and Reconciliation Report. They're extraordinarily important, but you also need action. And this is a demonstration of how we're going to act together. We're going to act in a respectful way. We're going to bring together members of the community and all members, all people that live in this area, to do something incredible, which is to protect this beautiful space. Like, look behind. It could not be more stunning here. And I've been to many stunning places, but it's really extraordinary. And it's also a really extraordinary place when it comes to the ecological significance. So this is an opportunity to come together. In my job, sometimes you hear squawking, people, saying you can't do things, you got to go further. I see that you have to bring everyone together. And that is my commitment today, that I am going to work with Chief Clarence. I'm going to work with the local community. I'm going to work with my good friend George in the province of BC to get this done. It's a great opportunity to show the world that we can act together, that we can bring together Indigenous peoples, working with different levels of government, working with ranchers, working with farmers. We worked to create Rouge National Urban Park, where we brought together environmentalists and farmers. It's not impossible because everyone cares about the land. You may have a bit of a different vision, but I think that is the opportunity to show the world that Canadians understand that we're very lucky to have this beautiful planet, but that we need to act together to protect this. And creating this park will be an amazing opportunity to showcase this. So you have my commitment that I will work very hard, that I will listen to everyone, and I know there are lots of different perspectives. That's normal, that's good.
I want to say today that the province of British Columbia is here to announce that we will be a full partner with First Nations and with the federal government toward the establishment of a national park reserve in this area. And let me just say as an aside, when I announced that I was coming here today and why I was coming here today to our cabinet and to Premier John Horgan, there were smiles, there was spontaneous applause, and the smile on Premier Horgan's face was broad and happy. We know that there are a range of interests here, and the process that we're going to begin shortly and engage in will be one to bring those interests together, to ensure that we do it with a new transparency and a new sense of a partnership. But the establishment of a park in this area offers so many opportunities. It offers an opportunity to model new management forums for national parks, and by extension, ultimately, to our provincial parks. That's important because my government and I know the federal government have both committed to the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. We need to bring that into reality, and by working on projects like this together, partnerships and co-management models, we can give that life, we can give it meaning, and as Chief Louie said to me, we can replace words with action to show people that we really mean what we say. That is important. I look forward to working in full partnership. I look forward to coming back for the announcement of the formal establishment of the park. I look forward to modeling for British Columbians what reconciliation and partnership looks like with First Nations, with communities, with the federal government. Most importantly, I look forward to a future where children and grandchildren will look back on today and the days that follow today as a day that made a difference for their part of the planet.
I didn't expect to be called upon to speak, but thank you, Clarence. I'm pleased that you gave me this opportunity, because what I want to say, this is the traditional territory of the Okanagan Nation, but it is also my home. This is where I grew up, and this is such a grand day to me to see this progress that is being made to establish this as a national park reserve and a national park. It will be a unique park in the history of parks in Canada. And I want to thank all of those who participated in this process. First of all, as Clarence mentioned, I'd like to go back. He's not here, but I'd like to thank the Prime Minister, Prime Minister Creighton, who received the delegation and said, yes, Ross, we'll make a park for you. I'm going to phone him as soon as I get home today and say, guess what? We made it.
As you all know, there was an ebb and flow in the issue, and we did conduct a feasibility study several years ago and made the decision that this was something that we needed to do. And unfortunately, the last time out, the music died as a consequence of a very intransigent federal government and provincial government who refused to engage on a tripartite basis. They said, no, this is a bilateral process between the federal government and the provincial government, and that's just the way it is. And we said, well, that's absolutely unacceptable in today's world, and we got up and we left the table. Well, I can tell you with great certainty we're back. And you can see the evidence of the 3 flags up here. And this is something that is going to happen.
But once they're there, it doesn't take very long for people to realize it was the best decision ever made. Because national parks are our country's gems. Those of us that go to national parks, they're gems of our country.